What's good, Potato Spin the Leak here. I hope you enjoyed my Resident Evil 6 streams. I'm actually about to do the final one after this movie review, which this is going to be uploaded a day late. It may not be the final one, but it's the final one for today. I'm going to drink a little bit of this cold coffee that I've been nursing all morning. And when I say all morning, I mean it's been a long time since I actually finished a pot of coffee because work usually has me take off after drinking half of it. Waste not, want not. Alright, so this movie review is actually pretty surprising for me. It is Roman, another B movie. Whenever I first started up this film, my thoughts on it were, this is trash. You know, I'm gonna end up playing Pokemon White and giving the Cliff Notes version while I'm paying half of the attention. Roughly 10 minutes into this movie, it changed. The movie itself didn't change, but my views on it did. And let me explain why. Roman is about a guy who lives alone named Roman. Not too creative there. Cinematography and filmmaking were crap. The plot was nah. The acting was nah. There's a lot of negative things I can say, but the thing is, Roman is a creepy guy who lives alone and has been stalking one of his neighbors in his building. Upon actually being able to get close to her, there's a confrontation. He ends up killing her and keeping her body on ice in the bathtub. Every Sunday, he will cut off a piece of her, have a little date with it, and then dispose of it. In this way, over time, Roman will slowly get away with murder. While he's doing this, locking himself in his home, going to work, and dwelling on fantasy they had of this girl. I'm stumbling on my words. Who was very different whenever he actually got to know her. You know, that whole image he had of her was shattered. There was a small confrontation. He ended up killing her. Go figure. He meets someone who, whenever they first introduced this character, my thought was, okay, what kind of Norse mythology fairy sprite is this bullshit? This is like some sort of forest elemental that's haunting him or some garbage. No, it turns out to just be a very creative, energetic, fun-loving girl. And what I say, she's a very likable character. She actually ends up bonding a lot with Roman and, pulling him out of the shell. She ends up through, just her natural charm, slowly helping him get over the girl that he stalked and killed. Which is something they needed to do. He couldn't move on. He was still stuck in this little dead zone. The only issue is this girl had a major fascination with death. And I cannot adequately, clear up my thoughts of this movie without going into detail with the ending. She talked quite frequently about, her upbringing and her, kind of attraction to death because of the symbolism behind it. That it's natural, that it should be something that's loved and cared for, as opposed to something that people should be terrified of. And she said that she was working on her masterpiece. She was an artist in her spare time. Once Roman actually disposed fully of the body and was able to clean up and clear out his apartment and start opening up, he was feeling confident, he was feeling good, he was ready to settle down and live the rest of his life with this girl. And she invited him through notes over to her apartment to see her finished work. And she had redone the entire apartment, painted all the walls, changed out the carpets, all sorts of crazy things. And whenever he got to her bedroom, there she was, she had slit her wrists with his razor. The straight razor he used to shave his face with and cut off a few body parts with. Anyway, you see a really deep character arc with Roman. It may not be the best movie. In fact, the movie is absolute garbage. But the character arc revolving around Roman, how he goes from this kind of like dead state and slowly starts opening up and slowly starts working his way through his issues, only to have it all be taken away from him. It's very relatable. You'll work hard on something, you'll get to know someone very well, and sometimes things just don't pan out. You never see the person again, you lose touch. Sometimes, the ultimate thing happens and someone dies. It's very hard to come to terms with that. Now, whenever Roman found her dead body, the landlord walked in. Roman then says one thing, and that is, I killed her. He is not only turning her suicide into, a potential manslaughter investigation and, taking blame for it, he's also admitting to the first girl. Because in his mind, that's who she was replacing. And, that's a very unhealthy way to think about it. But in a lot of ways, that's relatable. Sometimes the only way to get, past one point in your life is to hop into another. Sometimes the only way to replace someone else in your mind is with another person. I like the message of the movie. It's a little extreme, but I do like what it's saying, which is essentially, even when you move on, sometimes you get hurt. Sometimes, even though you change things up, it's not going to be, exactly what you want to be. Sometimes change doesn't necessarily, affect everything for the better. But you can become a better person from it. Have you seen this film? What were your thoughts on it? I'm going to go ahead and give it 2.5 potatoes. Like I said, it wasn't an excellent movie. Most of this is for the character arc itself. Go and check it out if you have the chance. Like, comment, subscribe, keep it on, and I will see you in the next video.